Good morning, everyone. My name is Derek Fu, and I will be your MC for today. Before we begin, I'd like to just run through some housekeeping items. If you can hear me clearly, can you click on the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen? Great, looks like we are good on sound check. Secondly, you will be muted throughout the presentation so as to not disturb the presenters. However, if you have any questions that you have, you may write them in the Q&A box. We will address them during the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Thirdly, we will be presenting some links to some useful resources throughout the presentation. If you happen to miss any of them, do not worry, as we will be presenting it again at the end of the session. With that done, I am very pleased to welcome you to Eastspring Investments' first public webinar for 2021. The topic for the day is money parenting, and we thank you for taking time to join us on this lovely Saturday morning. For those of you who are new to Eastspring, we are the investment arm of Prudential with offices across 11 markets in Asia. As fund managers, we are not just focused on investing, but we are also invested in the future of everyone, our clients, our colleagues, our community, as well as parents and their children. This is why we are here today to touch on the topic that is very near and dear to our hearts, our children. And we have three experts with us today to explore the topic of money parenting. I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to our audience as one of our speakers, Ms. Roshni Mahtani, Group CEO and founder of the Asian Parent, could not be here this morning, but her very capable colleague, Ms. Carla Perlas, who is the Senior Vice President of Content, will be taking her place. So before we begin, let us ask you a couple of questions just to get to know you a little better. We will be conducting a few polling questions throughout the presentation. So once you see a polling question appear in front of your screen, which you should see one by now, we'd appreciate if you could participate and answer them accordingly. Thank you. So the first question is, how many children do you have? Okay, this is a nice and simple question to get us underway. And let's see how many of our audience here today are parents. Okay, I can see many votes coming in. Just give it a little more time. Okay, I think we have the majority already. Let's see the result. Great. So as I would have actually assumed, there would be quite a few parents who are joining us today, as the topic is definitely related to parenting itself. So I definitely hope that the info and data that we present to you today will be very beneficial in your parenting journey. All right. Now for the second question, we would like to know that before this webinar, have you ever heard of the term or the concept money parenting? Please answer yes or no. Okay, give it a few more seconds. Okay, I think we have the majority. Let's have a look at the results. Wow, all right. As we can see, actually, the majority of you have not heard of the concept of money parenting. And admittedly, actually, I myself, who is in the financial industry, has only come across this term quite recently. So I think we are in store for a very good session today. Okay, so now that we have gotten to know you a little better, it is time to start the main event. I would like to welcome our CEO, Mr. Raymond Tang, to say a few words. Raymond has been at the helm of Eastspring since 2013 and has been the driver of our digital transformation in the last few years. He has two children, a boy and a girl. He loves cycling and believes that children, teaching them the basics of money management is fundamental of future-proofing them to the challenges ahead. All right, so without further ado, let us all welcome Raymond.
Thank you very much, Derek. Welcome everybody to our Money Parenting Seminar, and thank you for attending today. A special welcome to our panel of experts who are here today to share their knowledge and experience on the subject matter. Over the next hour, we will be reviewing and discussing some of the results from our money parenting research. Our research on this important topic involves surveying over 10,000 parents across 9 Asian countries to really understand the challenges parents face in educating their children about managing money and financial responsibility. This will be later supplemented by a discussion among the three experts on this topic, which I would like to briefly introduce. Firstly, we have Ms. Carla Perlas. Carla is the Senior Vice President of Content at the Asian Parent, Southeast Asia's largest parenting content and community platform that reaches over 30 million parents monthly. Next, we have Ms. Ng Pui Yi, who is the founder of Seeding Wealth Asia, an organization dedicated to help children and teenagers to grow smarter with money. She runs a very successful children education program called Little Tauke. Last but not least, we have Puan Nozaida Kano, who is the director of Kinder Baby Professional Children Childcare Center, and is a qualified and dedicated early childhood education practitioner with over 18 years of experience in the industry. As a parent myself, I'm very proud of this groundbreaking piece of research, which for the first time provides a very comprehensive picture about the perceptions, habits, concerns, and challenges and knowledge of Asian parents about financial education, and how these attitudes and beliefs about finances and managing money are passed on to the next generation. Financial inclusion and literacy are key topics for us at Eastspring, and we are passionate about educating the next generation so that our children understand the value of money as a foundation of a lifelong and lifetime learning, and we are able to make informed decisions to secure their future. At Eastspring, we believe it's part of a fiduciary duty as investment managers to help parents provide the best possible financial help and assistance to enable their children. In short, help your children to fish. Don't give them fish every day, but help them to fish so they can fish themselves and be better fishermen than us. Our objective in undertaking this research and launching the results across the region is to make parents aware of not only of the need of money parenting, but also its importance, and that you are not alone in your struggles and challenges. We want to create a money-savvy next generation, and we understand that this journey starts at home with parents, which is why we are here to provide that help and support today. All of us, most of us didn't grow up in a money parenting environment. We just wing it, we just pick up wherever we learn. We don't have a structured program to help us, but we are where we are. But I believe that through this way of learning, we believe that we can structure it better for our children and the next generation. One of the overwhelming findings that our research is that almost all parents agree it is important to teach our children about how to use and manage money. However, more than half of parents are unsure that they are teaching their parents correctly. And many would like to understand what other parents are doing in this area, as well as the best techniques and tools to help in that money parenting journey. By reviewing the research data and combining various elements, we developed a money parenting confidence index to find out how confident parents are about the success of their money parenting efforts. The index ranged from 0.01 to 1.00, with a score of 1.00 revealing that the parent is completely confident in teaching their children on money matters. Across the 9 Asian countries surveyed, we found an average confidence index somewhere in the middle at 0.65, with some slight country variations. Using these insights from the survey, we have developed a range of resources to help parents learn more about money parenting and facilitate discussion on this important topic. The current economic uncertainty created by COVID-19 pandemic means that now more than ever, issues around money and financial security are the utmost of the minds of everybody. At this time, children are increasingly aware of the financial pressures on their family. Through this initiative, we believe parents will be better equipped to help the next generation make sensible financial choices. understand the essentials about money, and live financially fit lives. My colleague, Ms. Yap Seok Hoon, who is our head of distribution, will share further insights into this research from a Malaysian perspective. Thank you and have an enjoyable webinar.
Thank you, Raymond. Wow, looks like we are going to have lots of interesting insights and data in money parenting that is coming your way. So let's not wait any longer. Next, I would like to actually introduce Ms. Yap Seok Hoon, our head of distribution. Seok Hoon has 3 children, 2 girls and a boy, and being a practitioner in the financial industry, this has really allowed her to give her children first-hand knowledge about savings and investing. So with this, I would like to invite Ms. Yap Seok Hoon for the main presentation. Over to you, Seok Hoon.
Thank you, Derek. First of all, happy morning to all of you, and thank you very much for tuning in to this Money Parenting public webinar. We are very excited to meet all of you here, and I'm very happy to see an overwhelming response from today's webinar. It just shows that Malaysian parents are really serious about money parenting and would want to learn more about it. I think just now, Derek had a poll questions and asked everybody, do you know or have you heard about money parenting? I could see in the response we have about 75% or more have not heard about money parenting. So probably I would like to take this time to explain to you what money parenting is. So in our survey, this concept of money parenting means the process of educating children on the financial and social responsibility that comes with money. In this process, parents pass on their attitudes and beliefs about finances to their children in the hope that this will have a positive effect on their financial behaviors and outcome, and of course their life. Eastspring wants to help parents become better role models and provide them with the knowledge, skills, and tools to effectively teach their children about money and plan for their future. At the first step, we conducted a quantitative and qualitative research as mentioned by our CEO, Mr. Raymond Tang. This research was conducted across 9 different countries in Asia, and we have interviewed 10,000 parents in Asia and in the 9 Asian market that I mentioned through this Asia Money Parenting survey. So first, one of the very interesting insights that we actually found out from this survey is 98% of Malaysian parents agree that it is very important to teach their child how to use and manage money. So versus an average of the 9 countries that we covered of a 95%. So this goes to show that Malaysians almost 100% agree that money parenting is so important for their children, including myself. I find this is very, very important. So next slide, if you look at it, basically, parents have so many questions like, what is the best age to start teaching my children? What should my goal be? What are the best techniques and tools? How would I know if I have been very successful? And what are other parents are doing? I think these are the questions that many parents have in mind, and we actually interview most of our survey, 10,000 parents that we actually interview, and we aim to answer some of these questions when we speak to our panel speakers later. So do stay tuned. It's going to be a very interesting panel discussion later. So next on this slide, you could actually see the main problem we found that was many parents are unsure if they are teaching their children successfully. There isn't any clear benchmark, for us to measure whether I'm successful compared to, my friends who is also a parents. So only 47% of Malaysian parents, from our survey, think that they have been successful teacher and role model. They are, like I mentioned, no clear benchmark or matrix, for parents can use to calculate the effectiveness of their money parenting efforts. So only about a quarter of parents across the region and just 20% in Malaysia are very confident that they have done a good job teaching their children about money parenting. I think that is the reason why today we see lots of you, many of you actually come on this webinar and want to learn more, and probably also want to learn how other parents are doing. So later we can actually find out from our panelists. Next. Like Raymond has actually mentioned, in this survey, one of the very interesting things that Eastspring has done is we have developed a money parenting confidence index. It's just like consumer confidence index in our kind of investment world, right? So Eastspring applied the research data and combined different elements, criteria to develop a money parenting confidence index to find out how confident parents are about the success or their money parenting efforts. So the confidence index ranges from 0.01 to 1. 1 means the parents is completely confident, and vice versa on the other end. The money parenting confidence index varies by country, and Malaysia was close to the regional average of 0.67, and average for the 9 countries is 0.65. So Malaysia is not too far. But if you look at in this survey, Indonesia and Thailand parents seems to be more confident in their money parenting versus other country, and Japan has the lowest. Probably the standard of living there is too high, for our Japan friend. But anyhow, let's come back to Malaysia. We are 0.67, not too bad, above average, in fact. So why are parents not sure, of their money parenting success? Yeah. So when asked about the goal of money parenting, survey parents across different countries in Asia, 64% of Malaysians say that they see it as teaching their children the value of money. It's actually, one of the successful factors about measuring how successful they are in money parenting. Malaysian parents want to achieve practical goal through money parenting, and especially that the child learn to budget and save, and the money needs to be earned. I think this is what our Malaysian parents believe in. Malaysian parents also felt that learning the difference between a want and a need is an important goal of effective parental teaching. Almost half of Malaysian parents surveyed that said that the most important outcome of money parenting is that the child is debt-free, means no more hutang, yeah, and has some savings when they enter into their adulthood. Other desirable emotional outcomes are the child has a happy and secure family life, and the child is generous to others, like doing donations and helping others. I think these are very good and noble goals, right, in our money parenting, teaching our children. However, some practical outcomes are also seen as important, such as the child know how to grow money and plan ahead for retirement. Think far-fetched, think long-term. So with various desirable goals and outcomes, parents are unsure about how to achieve successful money parenting. So in this slide, you can actually see what can help parents teach their children to use and manage their money better. So we have many variables and factors here that we actually interview our in the survey. So when asked by Eastspring, what helps that, that they want in order to teach their children how to use and manage money better, 43% of Malaysians across Asia and 41% in Malaysia say, I want to learn more about financial management myself. Improving their own knowledge would enable them to be a better role model and teacher. I think this is truly very important, right? Malaysia parents are very keen to acquire information, successful technique, and useful tool to teach money parenting, such as TV program, mobile app, and informative website, and even workshop to attend, like the one that you're attending today. So a third of parents also said, I would like money management to be part of my school's curriculum. So later we are going to interview, our kinder baby or even little tauke and ask them about this question. I think many of Malaysian parents, especially our Malaysia education system, do you think it is very important? And what, to what extent the school syllabus are actually teaching our children about money parenting? So stay tuned, a lot more for all of us to find out. So next, I think in this slide, you could actually see that, 74% of Malaysia parents and see the job of money parenting as being the responsibility of both parents. Means it is very important for both Papa and Mama to be, together responsible for it. So it's not just a dad's job, that's solely a mom's job. So Malaysians parents have good teamwork when it comes to money parenting. So really, and following, if you look at this slide, you could actually find out, a very interesting outcome, when to start money parenting. Is it 2 years old, 5 years old, or is it 10 years old? So if you look at this slide, the majority of parents begins teaching basic of money techniques when their child is at a fairly young age. And 10 years and under for 67% of Malay, for parents across the region, and 83% of our Malaysian parents here, believe that, we need to start, younger. In fact, 10 years old or below. So this is usually stimulated by the need to give our children money when it comes to a necessity. I think now children go to school pretty young. So when they are like, 6, 7, or even 8 years old, they go to school, we give them pocket money and they already know how to appreciate money and the value of money. So that's where Malaysian parents, especially, like I say, 83%, we believe that we need to start teaching them at a fairly young age. So real money parenting, therefore, usually coincide with the early years of schooling, like I mentioned, when a child is between 5 to 10 years old. An age when children have learned to count, they know mathematics, they know how to read, and they know how to recognize different denomination of money, coins, and notes. They know this is 1 ringgit, that's 5 ringgit, that's 50 ringgit. Even now, children at 5 years old and 6 years old, if you give them ang pao, right, Chinese New Year coming, they open it and they know how much it is. So that's why it is very important for us to teach our children young. And I'm very happy to see that Malaysian parents, predominantly, like I say, more than 80% believe we need to start young. And 52% of Malaysian parents believe children should start to learn how to use money when they are under 6 years old, which is very, very true. And if you look at following slide, factors that influence how the child learn to use and manage money, parents' teaching styles are mainly influenced by their own experience and knowledge. Like, for example, if you look at the slide, the way you spend and manage money, it is actually very important, for Malaysian parents. 8.24 rating here, if you look at it, and followed by the financial knowledge. So these are two main factors that we believe, or the survey outcome, found out that these are very important for us to influence and teach our children about the use and manage their money. So if you look at following, what styles basically, money parenting work best for me. So if you could actually look at the QR code here, then you will be able to, scan this QR code, and you were going to have fun to do some quiz. We have this quiz that is ready for parents to find out what style they are. So what style of money parenting work best for me? I think this is very interesting questions that all of us here would want to know. No single style of money parenting works, for all. Every parent would understand their own parenting style, and from here, and build their own teaching techniques. So in this Asia Money Parenting Survey, we identify 5 money parenting persona that we call them. Number 1, the freestyler. the facilitator, the nurturer, the go-getter, and the balancer. So I've done the quiz. I'm actually a go-getter. So the profiles are based on parents who wants to be hands-on and actively teach their child versus those who believe a child can best learn through their own experience. Those who see money parenting as very important versus those who see it less so. So parents who believe they have sufficient financial knowledge to teach their child versus those who do not. Those who see themselves as successful teacher versus those who do not. So later, with this QR code, it will take you to this quiz. So have fun, finding your own persona. So the technique of a parents can use the best delivered money parenting depending a great deal on how the individual persona, right? So, keep this QR code and have fun later with this quiz and find out about your own money parenting style. So next, if you look at, the next slide, sorry, okay, too fast. Okay. Okay, Amanda, can I have the 35%? Okay, after this slide. Okay, 35, if from this slide, you can see that, Amanda, can you move back to a slide before this? Sorry. Yeah, okay. Sorry about this technical glitch. Okay, so this slide tells us about what? Another key questions from parents was that they want to know what other parents are doing to teach their child. Just now, if you could recall my presentation, many of Malaysian parents, in fact, less than 50% of our Malaysian parents weren't sure whether they are successful or not. So naturally, parents would also want to learn from other parents how they are doing and so on and so forth. So if you would like to find out on your what other parents are doing or share your own idea, please visit our website, themoneyparenting.com, which you can actually get onto this website and find out more about this what other parents are doing, and there are very interesting article in there as well. And next, in this very cheerful slide, it simply asks us a very important question. How can I become a better teacher of money management? The most important responsibility of a teacher is to know the subject being taught, right? So parents recognize this and want to improve their own financial knowledge. They want to be confident then the lessons and advice that they give are correct and they can deliver the best outcome for their children. 43% of Malaysian parents, want to learn more about money management themselves, which means before we even can teach our children, we need to learn. So before we can teach, we need to learn. So that's what this survey outcome is talking about. So parents can improve their own financial knowledge and learn more about money parenting at the same time when they visit the money parenting microsite that I mentioned just now. We have a whole suite of resources there for you. We have also partnered with Asia Parents. One of our panelists today, Carla, is from Asia Parents, and who has set up a resource hub for parents on this subject matter. So we are going to talk to Carla more about this later. And last but not least, before I end my presentation, I have this very interesting video to share with all of you. What it simply says that while knowledge and tools are very important, at the end of the day, parents best teach by example. I think we all learn about this word leadership by example, walk the talk. And in Eastspring, we actually did a social experiment with parents and also their child. And this is a very interesting, cute video about this social experiment that we have done. So I am gladly to share with you this video and have fun watching it, and most importantly, catching the essence, the key message from this video. Enjoy the video.
นี้คืออะไรอ่ะ
What's inside?
อ้าวเป็นนี่ป่ะ
I don't know, Adi.
โซโซไก่ใครมา
Food.
Food in an antique box?
Yeah.
Don't be silly.
不会有蛇吧？
What a surprise. He's going to think I'm crazy.
Finally took you so long
ฮะ
งั้นกล่องนี้คืออะไรอ่ะ
Oh,มันลึกกึกกึย
Okay.
You know what อะไรนะ
I knew it.
ปังปันทาน
It's food.
You're right.
Fetch.
这个吗มันลึกคือเกยเพียงออกไป ว่าแบบ
Hey.
The whole purpose of this is to see if children blindly follow whatever their parents do, even if it's silly or...
I was so surprised that she actually copied every step.
When I was done, you were given one instruction. Kyle, open the box. And then you followed everything I did.
I wasn't supposed to do
To
that.
open the... No, the choice is yours.
Oh.
因为我觉得小朋友其实他就是一张白纸，所以基本上你大人给他什么，他都会去学。
สำคัญแน่นอนค่ะความเป็นพ่อแม่ที่ต้องเป็นตัวอย่างให้ลูกเห็น เพราะว่าพ่อแม่เป็นยังไงลูกเป็นอย่างนั้นแน่นอน
Good parenting definitely is not easy, but of course we try to inculcate values lah. We are more like good friends, right?
Oh, that was a cute and delightful video, wasn't it? It sure shows us clearly that, children are often a reflection of us, and whatever we do as parents, it will really shape how our children behaves. And definitely this includes how we teach them about money as well. So if you want to watch it again, you can catch it on our money parenting microsite via our Eastspring website. Okay. Well, one of the best ways to teach children about money and investments, especially in today's situation, is by letting them experience it themselves. Here at Eastspring, you can do the same by investing with your child or children. As you know, in restaurants, they have a concept, kids eat for free. Well, we have adapted that to kids invest for free. Okay, today I'm not here to sell any products, but if you are interested, you can scan the QR code for more information on this investment option. Okay, so with that, I would actually like to bring up another polling question to all of you. Now that you have heard of, what money parenting is all about, have you started on your own money parenting journey? Okay, let's see what you guys answer. Let's give it a few more seconds before the votes all come in. And can I get some of you to continue voting because we are reaching majority? Yeah, I think we have majority now. Let's have a look at the results. Wow, I think it is actually fantastic to see that, the majority of you have actually began on your own money parenting journey. Of course, this is not an easy thing to do, okay, because we all know about the importance of money parenting. I must say I'm a little bit surprised that, the majority have said yes, because I would think that because it is such an uphill task, a challenging thing to do, that many of us actually feel the fear of even starting about money parenting. So this is actually really, really good news that, you know, the majority of you have actually started. All right. So hopefully later on, after our panel discussion, you will have even more insights and, you know, idea about how you can go about doing your own money parenting. All right. So let's actually proceed to the panel discussion right away. You know, this session is actually participated by 3 of our experts on our topic today, and I am very pleased to welcome. First, we have Ms. Carla Perlas. As previously introduced by Raymond, Carla is the Senior Vice President of Content at the Asian Parent, Southeast Asia's largest parenting content and community platform that reaches over 30 million parents monthly. Carla leads the Asian Parents web and app content strategy, as well as the growth of its online community across the region. She has in-depth knowledge of the publishing value chain with more than 17 years of experience in strategy, partnerships, and operational content roles. We also have Ms. Ng Pui Yi, who is the founder of Seeding Wealth Asia Pacific, which is an organization dedicated to help children and teenagers to grow smarter with money. As a coach and mentor, she has taught thousands of students to create effective results in areas such as goal setting, financial responsibility, delayed gratification, and entrepreneurial skills. She also runs a very successful children education program called Little Tauke. Lastly, we have Puan Nuzaida Karno, who is the Director of Kinder Baby Professional Children's Center. She is a qualified and dedicated early childhood education practitioner with 18 years of experience in the industry. She is passionate about contributing to the intellectual, social, emotional, and physical development of young children. I'm sure our audience have been waiting to meet all of our panelists, so may I invite all 3 of you to now switch on your videos? This discussion will be moderated by Ms. Siap Siok Kun, our Head of Distribution. So please let us all welcome Siok Kun back along with our panelists. Over to you, Siok Kun.
Thank you, Derek. And I'm very delighted, and very honored to be the moderator for our 3 very capable and beautiful people here. And like Derek has actually introduced them, I don't think I need to actually do it the second time. And we are very happy to have you, Carla, Pui, and we also have Puan Nozaida, and she preferred that we call her Zai. Okay, so are you guys ready? I think our audience are, waiting anxiously, to hear and learn from 3 of you. I think I would quickly get on to the first question. Probably I want to point these questions to Zai. Okay, Zai, are you ready? Okay, we all know that Zai is very experienced in teaching the very young children, and she has 18 years of experience, like Derek has mentioned. So Zai, you are an educator as well as a mother for 5 children. Why are financial parenting and financial socialization such under research area in not just Malaysia, I think across Asia as well? And is it the case that financial matters are too intimidating to teach children? It's so boring and we just want to have fun. Is it such a case? What's your view? And from your background as a researcher and a parent and also an educator.
Okay, all right. Thank you for the question. Yeah. Okay. Speaking from my own experience, all right. I think when I heard about this question, I love to relate this with the readiness. Actually, the readiness of parents. Seriously for myself, when we want to talk about financial money matters, money parenting. Seriously for me, the topic is very heavy and it's very wide topic. I remember those days when I can really get anxiety when we have to share this knowledge, with my children. So when we are anxious about it, to talk about it, I think I will make it worse. So therefore, I decided not to share, because I am myself struggling with handling my own things. So even though at the back of my mind, I'm aware that the importance for my children to learn about money, financial, at least they know the value, they know how to spend it wisely, at least have some background of budget, so they are not repeating the mistake they have done. Okay, but somehow I still find it that this topic is very hard, difficult, and intimidating. Because from my background, 18 years, in this early childhood education, the pattern that I see, parents who came to our center, they are more concerned about safety, the health, which school that can provide the best education, how about how to talk to the children, so that the children can listen. But less or little people that I met that really come to me and ask this question: do you have financial education in your program? That is seriously make me wonder why. Myself, I'm thinking that why parents are not making an effort to teach the children about financial. Is it because the parents are not ready? Why they are not confident? So when I have to reflect this again to my experience, I remember how I was being taught to financial education back then. I've not been exposed to the real experience. Basically, our system is introducing a lot of books and theories, without any hands-on experience, whereby we understand for someone to master certain skills, they really need to explore that topic. They really need to experience it. Then they need to repeat the process, taste the success and the failure, then only they will master. So I believe why parents are not really confident about this, I think because of the lacking the experience there.
I see. I think you brought out a very interesting point that even being an educator and a parent, you find that the area of money parenting is very intimidating. So probably I want to ask Pui about this, because Pui is very, very experienced in, educating thousands of children. And I know that her program of Little Tauke is very successful in teaching children since young. And Pui, if we take Zai's point that this topic is intimidating, how would you then make it very interesting for children to then learn about a money parenting, or rather money management and value of money?
Okay, hi everyone. So in my opinion, right, actually teaching about money to kids is not difficult. Seriously, it's not difficult, because kids being kids, they love fun, they love games, okay? But most parents, right, their approach in teaching their children about money is more like nagging. It's more like very theory based, that you cannot simply spend your money, you have to spend your money, or you think money grow on trees, all these kind of negative money languages that they have been telling their children. Very boring. So to the kids, right, my daddy and mommy been telling me the same thing over and over again. And sometimes, right, we also spoke to parents who are very successful in managing their own money, but somehow they do not pass these important money management skills to their children, or rather their children don't understand, because it's all about words, okay? So in order to make kids really understand how to manage their money well, and how to realize the importance of the value of money, you have to, like what Zai said, you have to give them hands-on experiences, all right? And you got to make it fun and in a gamified way, so that they really understand why they should be managing their money wisely and why they should be doing all these things, all right? So I would say that hands-on experiences, make it fun, and gamify it. This will work for the kids.
Right. Gamification is such the trend now, right? Like a new reality. Is not just money parenting. I think in all educations, many area, people talking about gamifications and make it fun. So probably I would want to lead these questions to our pretty Kala. And I know that Kala is very experienced in managing a lot of online content on the Asia Parents website. And Kala, basing on your experience, having this, especially on the digital content, right? How can you make it so interesting, not so intimidating? Oh, I keep using the word, sorry, as I, and make it fun, even for parents, not just children, because, parents, they have to work and they have so many things to take care. How can, Asia parents, making this resource a lot more interesting for parents to really learn and then benefit from it?
I think it's definitely learning from each other, right? Parents sharing their experiences with other parents, what's worked for them, what didn't work for them. It's more personal, and it's at least that it's tried and tested because a fellow parent has tried it and it worked for them, or it didn't work for them. I agree, with Zai when she said that talking about money, it's intimidating. It's an intimidating topic. And I think we can attribute the lack of confidence in parents talking about money to, I would say, all the way from when we ourselves were kids. I say this because when I was growing up, talking about money was very hush-hush, not something to discuss openly. I remember this incident when I overheard my mom and aunt talking about money and how to handle my mom's debt, right? Her utang. And I asked her what her salary was, just blurted it out, thinking maybe I could help find a solution with her. I was 8 years old at the time. And she shushed me, admonished me for sticking my nose in grown-up business, said it wasn't something for me to talk about. So when I think about that incident now, and how I as a parent would have handled the situation if my own 2 kids had asked me what I was earning, I would definitely handle it differently because it affected me. I was 8 years old, and there and then I was told that no, don't talk about money. It's not something for you to even think about, right? So with my own 2 kids, my kid is almost 8 years old, and my eldest and my youngest is 5.5. I would open it up to a healthy discussion that my kids can comprehend. Like, hey, mommy, how much do you earn? I'd probably say, oh, enough to buy your favorite snacks and pay for our CodeSpark app subscription, associated with concepts or things they know, and to not make them feel uncomfortable about discussing money.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting, Carla. And I would totally agree with you, right? And like my kids, they would test me, mommy, how much is your salary? Is it 5,000? 10,000, 20,000, how much is a lot? They and I use the same technique like you do, so that they can relate. But now that my kids are so grown up, they are 15, 16, 17, right? And they are very exposed. And talking about I think that because the word of intimidating and we find that the money management is such a technical area. I think that's why many parents would keep thinking, can I teach them, can I really impart the right knowledge? I think probably just because of that, I think many school, especially some international school or private schools, are actually having a special topic about money management. So next, one of the very overwhelming research result that we found out from this Asia money parenting Asian survey, right? And we found out that, like in the case of Malaysia, we have 98% parents believe that money parenting is so important to teach our kids about the use of money, managing them, and appreciate the value of money. However, on the contrary, there were very few believe that they have done a good job, or rather they do not have confidence. Probably it's the case of, like Zai and also Carla and Pui, rightly put it, is very intimidating and they are so boring, so old-fashioned. And that's why, do you think, Poppy, I want to ask Pui this question. Do you think that, parents nowadays, because they are busy earning money and money come easy to our kids, nowadays for kids to ask for money from parents is so easy relatively compared to me. I'm at a very old age, so those days to ask for 5 ringgit and 10 ringgit is such a mission impossible. But now money come easy to children. So, and also parents tend to think, as long as I provide money for them, probably my job have done half. And is it because of this, many parents entrust the role of money parenting or the responsibility of money parenting to school? Like they send to Pui school about this little toke, and then they think that, okay, my job is done, Pui will teach them. Do you agree with that, Pui? And do you think, that's a good, I mean, for parents, is it done deal?
Okay.
I'm sorry, I asked very difficult
questions. Okay,
questions.
no worry. Okay, so just to share with you, right, parents who send their children to our classes often share similar concerns, whereby they do not know how to start talking to their children about money, or how to make their children understand the importance of managing money well, mainly because most of us, right, never received proper financial education since we were young. And most of us, we learn money the hard way by committing costly financial mistakes and through trial and errors, okay? So just to share with you an example, a parent once came to me, asked me to teach her son because she feels that she is not capable to teach her son about money. So she shared me that she grew up in a family whereby the parents are, I would say, is a hardcore savers. Only save money, and save money. And they are not allowed to spend, even though they have the luxury to spend. So she grew up in such environment, right, that every time she spends money on herself, she feels very guilty on doing it. And she feels that because of her background, because of her own, the environment that the mindset that she has, she feels that she's not capable to teach her children, all right, the right way, the right mindset, the right concept about money, okay? So I would say that in general, we have dealt with so many parents. I would say that parents' lack of confidence is because they do not know the proper or structured way to start teaching kids about money. And bear in mind that teaching kids about money has to be age appropriate too. For example, at the age of 6 to 8 years old, they should know or they should learn how to spend within their means, which is right now, there is no limit to how much they can spend. Everything is a need to them. There is no needs and wants. Okay.
E-wallet now, everything
e-wallet. Especially right now, kids telling me, teacher, you don't need money to buy things now. Just use handphone. You can buy the things that you want and need. Yeah, this is what they've been telling me right now, you see. And actually, for example, like 9 to 11 years old, your child should know or should learn how to check and compare prices, which most parents also don't do that. They just pick everything from the shelf. So when we tell kids to check and compare prices, they tell us, teacher, you don't need to do that. My parents don't even do that. Why we should check and compare prices, you see? And also at the age of 9 to 11 years old, they should also know how to allocate their pocket money based on 3 concepts that we have been teaching our kids, how to the save, spend, and share. Yeah, so this is what I will share regarding this question.
Right. What you do is so noble and very, very good. I think this is a very good experience. I think I would agree with you. Many parents, because of their background, their job, they may not, have confidence in guiding their children. But I always believe it takes both hands to clap, right? So if, the schools are teaching it, and at home, we need to also endorse the same message and also practice it. So I think next, we have overwhelming questions coming, and I think we have this a lot of questions asking about age. Okay, so the research shows that Malaysian parents believe that we should start money parenting, teaching our children about money parenting like 10 years old and below. In fact, like 5-6 years old. So I want to probably hear from our panelists. Number one, how young you think it is appropriate age to start money parenting for you, and why? And number two, how young that you think that you should start giving your kids allowance? If so, how much? And what kind of interval? Is it a daily allowance, weekly allowance, or monthly allowance. And how do you then, by giving them the money, like, Pui say, no, mommy say, no, teacher, no need to use money. It's everything in the handphone, right? So because of this, it's very dangerous for us to, and I think we need to be very careful. So probably I want to start with Zai. Zai has got 5 children. So Zai, you got a lot of pocket money to give, yeah? So, and number 1, how young should be money parenting start for you and why? And number 2, on the allowance.
Okay, thank you. All right. For me, I've been involved in this early childhood education. I think to begin to form their lifelong money traits, we can start as early as 3 actually, because they can grab the concept. What matters is not during that time, what we want to teach the child is the concept first, to value the money first, before we have to really understand to teach them what is saving, investment, that kind of thing. The child should know the value and the concept. They must grab the concept. Okay, for my kids, I learned it in the hard way actually. So I started when I have my 3rd one. Then only I started how to really manage my financial well, because there's one incident I remember when my 3rd daughter throwing her tantrums in the toy shop.
Oh.
Because when she wants that, I have to reconsider. If I buy for her, I have to buy for another 2, which is on that particular time I have not enough money for that. So I said, okay, I have to say sorry for this. Then they showing her tantrum that. So then I make myself realize that I can't do this. I cannot easily give easy way for my children that you can just ask anything. You need to understand the concept, what is want, what is need.
Yeah.
So what I did when I drove them home, I give them a clear jar. So I asked one question to her that I asked her, do you have money? No, if you want to buy something, you need to have money. Do you have money? Then she said, no, I don't have. So one thing I teach her is that if you want something, you need to save. You want something, you must have money. If you want something, you have to wait.
Yes, that's right.
And it took a longer time for her to save that money until she be able to get that toys.
Right.
So for that particular reason, when I realized that I think I'm learning I learned that process as well as a mommy. Then teaching them about money, I believe this is priceless.
Yep.
So from there, I started giving them daily money pocket. Depending on the keperluan, the need during that time.
Yeah. Yep. So thanks, Zai. Yeah, I probably need to move on to Kala. She looks like a very generous mom, right? So Kala, how do you manage this allowance for your kids, and also how young you think it should be? I think your kids are only 5.5, and I believe that you have started it. Do you start it when it was like 3 years old, or what? Do you want to enlighten us?
Yeah, of course. Okay, let me share. Okay, so my kids are, well, my eldest again is almost 8, right? She's turning 8 actually next month. And then my youngest is 5.5. But they are pretty much aware already of the, concept of money, and that it doesn't grow from trees, and that mommy and daddy have to work hard for it. And even my eldest would say, oh, I'm not going to choose this toy because it's expensive. Right. So she knows it already. She knows it. Right. So she knows it too. And even my youngest is, and my eldest is actually like a role model for her younger sibling, because her younger sibling would just repeat what her big sis will say, right? Yeah, I won't choose this too because it's too expensive, right? But we started teaching our kids actually young, because I guess I would say when they started losing their teeth, because we taught them to believe in the tooth fairy. Okay, so the tooth fairy concept, right? It's actually a good system of teaching them about the reward system, of taking care of what is theirs. You know, we remind them, remember, if your tooth has cavities, you may not receive anything from the tooth fairy. You know, so you should remember to brush your teeth. And so actually my eldest, right, so she lost, I think, maybe 4 or 5 teeth in a year, and she was able to save all that money from the tooth fairy and buy herself her own Christmas gift at the end of the year. Right, so she, you know, she saved that money, and now her little sis has just lost her first 2 teeth and is, you know, following after her big sis's, you know, footsteps. So yeah, you know, as soon as they can understand the concept of buying something, right, of needing money to buy something. So when you know, when you go on your when you go to the supermarket or to the store and you have your kids with you, you know, 3 years old, 2 years old, 4 years old, and they can see you, that exchange, right, of products and goods and money, it's already a good opportunity to teach them about money. Right? So like what Pui Yi was saying earlier, right, about showing them to compare, you know, the prices of products. Bringing them to the store is a perfect opportunity to show them that, to teach them those concepts. Yeah, so as early as you can. Again, you know, it's all about age appropriateness, right? Of course, you're not going to talk to your 2-year-old about investments. You know, you're going to have to talk to them about, you know, concepts that they can understand. That, hey, if you do this, you get this in exchange, right? So it's like the cause and effect kind of system. When it comes to allowances, well, my kids, you know, I'm just to share with everybody here. I live in Manila and I'm in the Philippines, right? So our students here have been in, you know, doing online school, so they haven't had the need for an allowance. But in the previous school year, it's interesting that my eldest, her school actually has this program where you can allot snack allowance and give it to the school. Give it to the school. Hey, here's some money. Here's my child's snack allowance. And she can just go to the cafeteria and choose whatever snack she wants. But, you know, I've taught my child, my eldest, to say, just because you have snack allowance doesn't mean you can just, you know, keep getting snacks every day, right?
Like ATM machine.
Exactly. And so I told her, let us agree on a day that you can treat yourself to a snack. So I think you just also have to set some ground rules with your kids. I mean, you can be generous with your allowance. You can be stingy with the allowance. You can even just opt not to give them allowance and just give them, you know, their own lunch box, right? Like, this is all you're gonna have, right, to bring with you to school. But just gotta have those ground rules and make sure that you and your child agree on those ground rules.
Wow, that's very interesting, Carla. You have very good systematic way of educating your kids. I like the reward system. I think many parents actually use the reward system. And I personally think that reward system has to start early so that it goes into them. Like my kids now, right? If you give them a reward system at age of 14 and 15, they will tell you, Mommy, forget about it, you know. So, but when they were young, we started it, and it was amazing. And surprisingly, it goes into them, ingrained into their subconscious mind. And that's very interesting. Thanks, Carla and Zai, for that. I think I want to move on to Pui, because she, you know, Pui, she doesn't have any children, but she is a great educator of teaching other people's children about money management. So Pui, you know, could you please share with us, you know, what can we do more to raise the awareness of early education for our children among the parents about money parenting? That's number one. And from your experience, can you share with us very simple steps, like step ABC, 1, 2, 3, you know, to teach our children, so that today our audience, when they, you know, end this session, they would actually have this simple concept or system that they can actually start using it and teaching their their children about money parenting.
All right. Okay. So to answer your question, Siobhan, so I would say that parents will need to take proactive role in teaching their children about money. In our experiences, we noticed that parents, you know, they sort of like only talk to their children about money when the need arises, or when some situation happens, then only they start talking about it. And it's just a few minutes time spent in talking to their kids about money, you see. And a lot of parents, right, I still remember when I first started this financial education business, I would say that out of 10 parents that I approach, about 9 of them will reject sending their children to financial education courses because they have the misconception that after learning about money, my child will be money-minded. And then they will
money face.
they will keep on talking about money in front of me, and then they will also say that my kids are not ready yet. Then one question will be, is there a need to learn about money? You know, this kind of question are always being thrown to me. But I would say that is because that your child don't really understand how money works. That's why they are money-minded. Especially if you at home parents have been telling your children that you have no money, you can't afford this, you can't afford that. So you will actually raise a child who is a money hoarder because they have been getting all these negative languages from you that, yeah, money is important. Money is very limited. I need to get a lot of money, those kind of perception that they have. That's why you have a money hoarder. And to the other end, you will also have a kid. You will also raise a kid who is a money spender because they will feel that they are deprived from you. Everything that they want or they want to have, they can't have it because parents, you have been telling them you have no money. All right. So that's why I would like to say that parents, right, you need to take proactive action in teaching your children the right way. All right. Instead of telling them like you can't afford, you have no money, teach them the prioritizing like the needs versus wants, then how you parents manage your own finances and how you manage your money wisely. This is what you should be talking to them instead of telling them all these negative money languages. Okay. About the 3 steps, right, I would say that from our experiences as well, if you want your child to be good in managing money, you have to give them money to manage. Which we see some parents don't do that because they just don't trust their children with money. Because children, once given money, they will spend it all, or they will belanja their friends, makan, they simply spend. So parents don't trust their children with money. All right. And also, when you don't give your children when you give your children pocket money as well, you have to give them real control over their money, as in let them make decision on how they want to spend their money, rather than telling them you can't do this, you can't do that. Because if you do that, again, you are not helping your child to gain any money management skills. And if they make money mistakes, do not bail them out. All right. So just now Shuk Hun mentioned, the reward system has to come early so that the kids understand understand about the money, right? But I would say that not only reward, which is pleasure, we must also give the pain factor to our children, because right now they enjoy the fun, the pleasure of spending money, but they don't feel the pain of money mismanagement. That's why most of the financial education that all those money lessons that parents been giving to their children is not effective or failed to achieve the objective, because children do not feel the pain in money mismanagement. So parents, once you've given them pocket money, let them decide, have the real control on how they should spend their money. If they make money mistakes, that's where you come in to guide them and teach them. All right. If let's say a few ringgit of money mistakes, you cannot tahan to see them making it. So imagine when they join the adulthood, the money mistakes that they make will be even costlier when they max out their credit cards, not paying their bills on time, it's even worse. All right. So 3 points: give them money to manage, give them real control, and let them bear the consequences of money mismanagement. And parents, you come in as the teacher, as the guidance to help them to learn. Yeah, this is my advice.
Wow. Pui, that's valuable, 3 simple steps, and yet very powerful. I think by now, most of us feeling so guilty now. It's very bad of you, making all of us, including me, I feel so guilty now, right? I think especially on, you talk about the 3 step, right? Give them money, really to take charge, and then give them real control and allow them to make decision. And if they make mistake, do not give in. I think that is where a lot of parents are trapped. Especially, I think, we think that it is a few ringgit or 10 ringgit, 50 ringgit is okay. But I think we brought up a very, very interesting point. So I want to, move on, very quickly. The last one, I think, or 1 or 2 questions, because today's session is getting very interesting. We can talk for 2 hours, right? But I think, I think our audience time, our panelist times are also very precious. So Zai, talking about a money management, in terms of at this point in time, I think we are all hit by COVID-19 pandemic. And you know what? Our survey actually conducted before the COVID-19. So by now, probably the confidence index, if we were to recompile and do it again, recalibrate again, I think it will be lower. So because of this enormous, amount of financial uncertainty, and it has actually impacted many families out there, including I myself. I have friends who lost job, or even they actually have a pay cut, So how can we take this money parenting concept to our children to also let them feel that the stress, the financial stress that their parents are actually going through now. If you were to be one of it, that parents that actually impacted by the COVID-19, I believe you're not, okay? But if you were one, how would you teach your children now about this financial stress, and also letting them owning the responsibility being part of the family members?
Okay, all right. To refer whether COVID or not, yeah, for me, what importance here is the parents as a role model. Parents plays a vital role in the children's life. So what we have to really understand here, in the perspective of early childhood educator, we have to understand that children learn through 3 components. They observe you, they imitate you, then somehow they will model what kind of behavior that you show to them. That's why I think that is very important, why parents have to have knowledge, in handling their own financial, in order for the children to see the good role model in front of you. So as the COVID time now, I think everybody are affected. This is when the terms comes like live within your means, right? Whatever that you have, you cannot spend it all. We must have that saving, etc., investment, whatever. But the most important thing that now the children need to learn is to live within your means. So whether COVID or not, this kind of concept the children should grab from the earlier on, so they're not really like waste the money to buy, to really understand which one is the one, which one is the need. So end of the day, it backs again to our duty as a parent. So parents have, whether you like it or not, we have to have knowledge in this.
All right. Right. Thanks, Zai. I think I want to rephrase these questions to Carla. Okay, given that the COVID-19 pandemic and the financial stress, and I think many children probably, if they don't read the news, or rather they don't read business or financial economic news, they probably wouldn't know about what is happening. So being a parent and also a digital content specialist, right? How would you, take this as a teachable moment for our children to learn from this financial crisis, and then develop the money mindset, or rather money management mindset for our children?
You know, just to that's a very good question. Just to also share first before I answer this, you know, my two kids have not left our home since March last year.
Yeah.
You know, my husband and I were trying to make sure that they are not exposed, you know, to the virus. We haven't even had family visit us because we have these two young kids, right? I mean, you can't control how, you know, how they would keep themselves clean and you know, and sanitize, right? Because they're young kids, right? You know, they'll touch their face and without being aware of whatever else, you know, whatever surfaces they touched. So, you know, having said that, my husband and I, we do our best to keep them entertained and to do, you know, we do our best to teach them as much as we can, right? About life, not just what they learn from school, right? So definitely money habits is something that, you know, we are also quite conscious about teaching our kids. And that's why I shared that example about the tooth fairy earlier on. Because we still wanna, even though we've been cooped up for almost a year at home, we still wanna bring in the wonder, you know, that life still has to bring. And I think that's very important, especially when you have very young kids at home.
Yeah.
Right? So still bring in the wonder. You know, earlier this morning, my eldest was looking at her little coin purse and looking at, you know, checking how much she has in her coin purse. And she saw a little coin, right? It's a 1 peso coin. And she goes, wow, Mom, look how shiny it is. You know, you can't buy much with a 1 peso coin, right? Or like maybe with a 50 cent, you know. But to me, it was very important to still instill the wonder, right, in any value. That, Katie, that's her name. Yeah, Katie, that's exciting. That's wonderful. I bet you can buy, you know, one piece of candy with that when we can. Yeah, I'm going to save it, right? So, again, you know, I think it's about really just instilling and, you know, or preserving that wonder about anything, right? Even though you're cooped up. We do our best to keep it exciting for them. In terms of money, right? If, you know, of course, we're also trying to control our spending because it's uncertain, right? It's very uncertain. My husband has his own business, right? So it's he, you know, he's also working very hard to keep that afloat. So when we talk to our kids about our situation, you know, we give it to them straight. And we tell them that, hey, you know, one of the good things actually about this pandemic, this quarantine, is that now they can visibly see how hard their mom and dad work.
Right?
True. You know, oh, mommy's on a webinar right now. Okay, right? So they respect your time. They respect, you know, because they understand that you need to do this so that, you know, we keep a roof above our heads. At the same time, I took this opportunity, this quarantine, to teach them about, you know, responsibility, about being able to contribute at home. Right? So, you know, little chores, right? Like teaching them how to fold their own beds, give themselves, you know, how to bathe themselves, right? That, you know, without having their nanny or myself or their dad, you know, to assist them. Anything that would help at home and lessen the burden from the other members of the family. I think that's very important as well. So just to recap, right? One is, you know, get them involved, right? At home, get them involved at home. And then two, keep the wonder, you know, keep the wonder at home. Keep the wonder at home.
Right. Thanks, Carla. It's such a, you know, refreshing, you know, response that you actually gave us, right? I think during this COVID-19, many of our kids are actually watching us how we work. I think that is the best teaching materials that we have. You know, in the money parenting is a way very rightly pointed out, you know, parents are the best role model. So I think we at Eastspring, you know, we actually launched this survey at the right time and share the findings at the right time. And more so, money parenting, very, very important at this point in time, especially during, we are still in the middle of the COVID-19 crisis. So I am very, very pleased to have, our 3 panelists with us. I personally have learned a lot from all of you, Zai, Pui, and Kala. I believe all the parents here, your time is worth your time spending, listening and learning from our 3 exciting and very experienced panelists. Before we leave, before I end, probably in one sentence, panelists, what is the word of wisdom you want to give it to our parents out there who are listening to you now? Just one sentence. I want to start with Pui.
Okay, so my advice to the parents is money management is just like any other learned skills. It takes practice to be perfect. Okay,
Yep.
So just like what Carla had mentioned, parents, you need to be, involve your children in your daily family finances, how you plan your family finances, how you do your budgeting, etc. And be open with them. All right. So yeah, be open. Kids need to know. All right. They really need to know. So just be open about money topics. It's not a taboo. All right.
Yes.
So, yeah. So that would be my advice.
So it can be learned. Just be open about it. Just do it, right? Zai, what is your one sentence, your wisdom?
Your parents remember monkey see, monkey do. So start right. Be a good role model.
Monkey see, monkey do. Yes, correct. Be the best role model. And Carla, what is your words of wisdom?
Yes, I would say keep it positive, right?
Yes.
So don't shame them when they ask about money. And be open about it, and be, refrain from the negative language.
Yes,
That's what Pui said earlier.
Yeah. Be positive. Keep the oneness, right?
Yes, keep the wonder.
Yes. So thank you very much to our 3 amazing panelists, Kala, Pui, and Kano, Zai. And thank you very much for your time. And today, in fact, we have very interesting session, and I am very, very thankful for your time, and I'm very pleased to be your moderator today. So thank you very much, and we pass back to our MC Derek.
Okay, thank you, Shokun, and our panel of experts. Oh, I didn't want that to end. That was super informative and insightful. I thoroughly enjoyed that. All right. I know we still have more questions coming in, but in the interest of time, we are sorry that we cannot take them all. But before we end, we would like just to ask you one final polling question. All right, before you leave, we just want to have one final polling question, and it is just to have a rough gauge. After having a better understanding about money parenting, do you now feel more ready for money parenting? All right, let's give it a few more seconds. Okay, responses are coming in, and yep, I think we can share the results. Can we have the results, please? Okay, and I am very delighted to actually see this result. It is an overwhelming yes. And I hope everyone has gained something about money parenting from the presentations today. I myself certainly have gained a much better idea as to how I'm going to embark on my own money parenting journey. Okay, so well, everyone, that concludes a very informative and exciting presentation we have had today. We hope you have found this insightful and helpful. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want access to some of the resources that we have presented along the way, including a money parenting persona quiz that you can take to know more about our own money parenting style, or as I mentioned just now, a Kids Invest for Free product, please scan the following QR codes to read up at your own convenience. Alternatively, you can access the site as shown on our screen, okay, at our Eastspring website. Also, when you leave this webinar, you will be directed to a survey, which we would appreciate if you can give us some feedback about the session today. Once again, thank you everyone for attending the webinar today, and we at Eastspring wishes you an abundance of health, wealth, and a happy 2021 ahead. Have a great weekend and see you soon. Bye-bye.